Hello, are we live? We're going to begin in a couple minutes, working out some technical difficulties as we do each time. On the front page, turn that down please. Okay, on the front page there's a music player. You can use that for your music, or you can turn on your own music at home, whichever works for you. Welcome to Yo Gurus. Is everyone ready to begin? Do you have your mats, your water, and yourself? Please turn that down. Hello to all my family and friends out there. We're going to do a basic yoga tonight. Do what you can. If it gets too difficult, you just go into child's pose or just stop and watch, whichever works for you. Let's begin by taking a few deep breaths in. Inhale as we lift our shoulders up. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release. This time as you lift your shoulders, roll them back with the inhale, and exhale, roll them. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come forward. Inhale and exhale. And come into mountain. Open the arms out to the side. Turn the palms up toward the ceiling or the sky and reach up overhead. Turning the palms forward into volcano pose. Chin is parallel to the floor. Gaze is off into the distance. Taking nice deep breaths in and release it. Pressing your heels firmly into the floor. Feel the stretch in your calves up through the backs of your legs. Stretch the arms up toward the sky. Feel the rib cage opening. Inhale deeply and exhale, release to mountain pose. Inhale, arms come out. Open palms up to the sky, reaching all the way up. Palms turn forward, back to volcano pose. Stretch those arms toward the sky. Squeeze the stomach muscles, pull them back toward the spine. Heels firmly pressed into the ground. Listening to your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, exhale, release the arms, let them come all the way around to heart center. And release them to your sides. Tipping your right ear to your right shoulder, press your left palm firmly toward the ground and feel a stretch along that left side of the body. Continue to breathe and release. Press the right palm toward the floor, left ear toward the left shoulder, and feel that stretch alongside the right. Inhaling and exhaling. Keeping the stomach tight, pulling it back toward the spine, and release. Bringing your arms out to the side, parallel to the floor. Turn your head all the way to the right, attempting to get your chin over your shoulder. Remember, the heels are firmly planted into the floor. The toes are spread. The tummy is pulled in toward the spine. Drop the chin to the chest and reach the chin over to the other side, attempting to get it over the shoulder. Inhaling and exhaling. As you release your arms, roll and drop your chin to your chest. Feel that stretch across the back, through your neck, and let your head relax and fall. Lift your chin, facing forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, coming down from your hips and not from your waist, slowly reaching toward the floor, and then sweeping back up and open all the way up, arching back. Exhale, mountain. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, coming down from the hips and not from the waist, bringing your palms into your elbows and letting your head hang in that box that you've made with your arms. Rotate the tailbone up toward the ceiling. Let the body fall out of the waist like waterfall. Continue the breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Pressing back with your knees, attempting to straighten out your legs. Release your hands to the floor. And reverse swan dive all the way to high mountain. Arching back, exhale, heart center. And release the arms. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Bending slightly into the knees, sweeping the fingers across the floor and lifting them up over behind you and clasping your palms together. Release the palms, bending into the knees. Sweep your fingers across the floor. Inhale all the way up, arching back. Let's repeat that a few times. Inhale, release forward. Sweeping the fingers as you bend the knees. Lift the hands up behind you. Rotate your shoulders back, clasping your hands up over your head. Rotate so that your tailbone is reaching toward the ceiling. You feel a stretch in the back of your legs, pressing your heels firmly to the floor. Release and let them fall again. Inhale all the way up, arching back, and come back to high mountain. Palms are together. Stretch to the right. Keep the chest open. Feel the stretch across the left side of the body. Push that hip. Press, press, and press. And back to center. And to the other side. Press that right. Pressing and pressing. Inhaling, chest is open. Continue to breathe. Inhale, back to high mountain. And forward fold. Stepping to the front of your mat if you are not there already. Let's begin the sun salutations. Inhaling, arching back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, letting the glutes drop, the head and chest come forward, and then back to forward fold. Inhale and exhale, dropping back, and then coming up, back to the forward fold. Inhale, right leg comes back, and drop your knee to the floor, flatten out your foot. Bring your hands up, hold them on your knee, pressing your front foot firmly into the floor and your back foot firmly into the mat. Make a strong base. Your hips are parallel to the front of the room. Release forward. Come up onto your toes. Bend your knee and step forward into forward fold. Inhale. Exhale. Reach forward with the chest. Step back with the left leg. Drop the foot. Flatten it out. Push up, hands to the knees. Hips parallel to the front of the mat. Pressing firmly with the right foot into the mat and the back foot, the left foot pressing firmly into the mat. Deep breath in and release it. Relax your shoulders and release your hands to the floor. Curl your toe under and step forward to forward fold. Inhale, drop the glutes, lift the chest, press the palms firmly to the floor, and step one foot at a time back or jump into plank. Hold plank. As you adjust the muscles to hold this position, the wrists are directly below your shoulders. Your stomach is pulled in tight, squeezing the inner thighs as though holding a block of wood. The gaze is directly in between your hands. Your head is always an extension of your spine. Now slowly drop by bending your elbows and letting them brush your rib cage, coming all the way to the floor, and then lifting up into up dog. You can keep your knees and thighs to the floor, or if you want more challenge, you come up onto your toes. Either way, you continually press the hips towards the floor, lifting your neck up out of your shoulders, and continuing to breathe, always taking that breath in and releasing it, and releasing the muscles a little deeper into that position. Curl those toes under, and let's reverse into a V shape, into down dog, pressing back, palms firmly into the floor, spreading your fingers like a starfish. The thumb and the first finger press firmly into the mat to create the base for your arms. Slightly rotate your elbows and your upper arms in as though you're holding a beach ball in place. Rotate your tailbone up toward the ceiling. Slight arch forming in your back. Inhaling and exhaling. And now press the right heel to the mat as you lift the left heel. And reverse, coming up on both toes. Left heel to the mat, right heel up. Both toes up, and now the heel down. Up onto the toes, and the left heel down. Continue this movement with 3 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Warming up the backs of your calves. Anytime that you're tired, go down to your knees and push back into child's pose. Anytime during the whole yoga session, you can use this pose for your resting. Let's come back to down dog. Come forward to plank. Release the elbows coming down toward the floor and lift up to up dog. Let's do the modification now. Let's press back to child's pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, come forward into cobra. Pressing the palms to the floor, using your lower back muscles, pressing your toes away from your body towards the back of the room. And press back to child's pose. Once again, forward, Up dog. Press back to down dog or child's pose, pressing the heels one at a time towards the floor. Rotating that tailbone up towards the sky. Lift up onto the toes and come forward into plank. Inhale, exhale, hold that tummy in nice and tight. Bend those elbows, come down and pull forward into up dog. Curl the toes under and push to down dog. Right leg comes up behind you. Pressing those palms firmly to the floor, remember the star shape for the hands. Then pull the knee forward up in between your hands and either drop your knee to the floor or stay up on your toes and come up with the arms, hands overhead, palms pressing together. Inhale and exhale so that those muscles get a lot of oxygen so they don't start cramping. And release your hands to the floor. Curl your toes under on the back leg and step back to plank. Pushing back to down dog. Left leg comes up. Inhale and exhale. And pull the foot forward in between your hands. Again, either dropping the knee or up on the toe. Inhale and come up. Let those hips sink. Feel the stretch. Open the arms out to the side. Bring your palms back to the ground. And step back to plank. Drop your knees to the floor and sit back into child's pose. Take 3 breaths as you relax and rest your body. Come forward onto your hands and knees, making sure that your shoulders are directly above your wrists and your hips are directly above your knees. Let's take the right hand and lift it out alongside of our right ear. Keep that base and that core strong, squeezing the tummy muscles, pulling them back toward the spine. Imagine that your back is like a table and you have a glass of water sitting on the table and you don't want it to tip off. Now slowly bring your leg back, your left leg, touching your toe to the floor behind you. Then slowly, without moving your hips, you want your hips to remain parallel to the floor and you want that glass of water to stay on your back. Now slowly lift that leg. Use your tummy muscles to lift that leg. Now stretch from toe to hand. A big stretch. And don't forget the breath. Release the toe to the floor. Release the palm to the floor and come back to the kneeling position. Take the left hand, bring it between the right wrist and the right knee, drop it to the side, threading the needle and stretching out that shoulder. The right hand comes forward, straightening that arm. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Press the palm to the floor. Bring yourself back up to a kneeling position. We're going to do the other side now. The left arm comes out alongside of the ear. The right leg comes back, the toe touching the ground. Squeeze your tummy. Pull that belly button back toward your spine. And slowly lift your foot as you keep your hips parallel to the floor. Your tendency is to lift that hip at the same time that you lift your foot. So be conscious of that and only lift the leg. Continue to breathe. Release your toe to the floor. Release your palm to the floor. and bring your knee back under your hip. Take your right hand, bring it between your left wrist and your left knee. Press it out and drop to your shoulder. Take your right arm or your left arm and bring it out in front of you. Feel an intense stretch across the back of your neck into your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Press your palm to the floor. Push yourself back up to the kneeling position. Let's drop our head and lift our spine. Pull that belly button up toward the spine. This is cat. And now drop into cow, inhaling as you drop. And exhale to cat. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Let's drop our hips back to our feet and bring our palms on our heels and drop the crown of our head to the floor, to the mat. At the same time, you're going to arch your back and lift your butt into rabbit pose. It's important to have your head, your forehead touching your knees, so you want to continually pull forward with those knees, walking them into your forehead. Pressing back again onto your heels. And once again, coming forward to the hands and knees. Hold that tummy in nice and tight. We're going to do Sunbird. Sunbird is a little bit more difficult, and there's two ways that you can do it. So you do which one you're most comfortable with. We'll start again with our right arm out and our left leg back. If you feel like your base is strong enough and you feel balanced, you reach under, tuck, lift your spine, bring your nose toward your knee, and put your hand on your knee. And you only touch it, and then you reach back out and arch the back. If you're not able to do it that way, you can just put both hands to the floor, lift, touch your knee, and reach back with the leg. Let's do 3 on each side. Reach. Inhale. Exhale. Pull under. Inhale. Reach. Exhale. Under. Inhale. Reach. And exhale. Under. And release. Push back to child's pose. Take 3 breaths and relax. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And back up to the hands and knees. Let's do the opposite side. Remember that Sunbird can be done in a modification, bringing the knee in to the nose, extending it and lifting it. Or your left arm can be out and your right leg out. Reach, inhale, exhale, under. Inhale, reach. Exhale, under. Inhale, reach. Exhale, under. And release. And push back to child's pose. Walk those fingertips way out in front of you. Feel a stretch in your shoulders, letting your shoulders fall. Now lift your hips above your knees. Drop your palms facing each other, straight in front of you. Drop your shoulders, drop your forehead, sink deep, and feel yourself stretching through the shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling, again 3 times in this position. Drop to your elbows, then to your palms. Come back to kneeling. One more series in this position. Again, this is a little bit more difficult. Go at the rate you can and do what you can. We're going to reach out once again, this time bending that left leg. Then reach back and touch your foot and hold it. Stay right here if this is where you're comfortable, or lift up as though you have a sailboat and you are sailing, getting the wind to catch that sail. Feel the stretch. Inhaling and exhaling. And release. Let's do the other side. Right leg back, left leg forward. Bend your leg, reach back. Grab your foot, hold it here. Make sure that your base is strong. Is your stomach squeezed? Is it pulled back towards your spine? Are you using your glute muscles? And lift that sail just a little higher. Feel the pull, feel the stretch. And release. Okay, let's put our toes curled under and slowly push back to rest in a kneeling position with your toes curled under. This pose is good for people that are suffering with plantar fasciitis. It helps to stretch out that foot, and it only takes a half an hour or less each day to sit back and forth from this position and then come back out. Do cat and cow, and it helps to stretch out the muscles in the calves and the bottom of the feet. While you're in this position, I'll turn forward so that we can see a little bit better from the front. We're going to lift the right arm up, bend the elbow, and pat yourself on the back. Bring the other arm out, bend the elbow, and reach up and touch those fingers. Cow face position. This is good for neck tension, for shoulder tension, and rotator cuff injury. Hold the position, hold the tummy tight. If your toes are starting to hurt, come forward and just come up onto the knees. Bring yourself back down. Release. Bring your arms down. And this time, the left arm comes up. Reach back, pat yourself on the back. Reach out, bend the elbow, reach up, and attempt to bring your fingers to touching each other. If you need, you can grab a towel, hold on each hand, pulling yourself a little bit tighter into the position. After a while, you'll be able to touch your fingers and clasp them together. Again, coming up if your toes are hurting. Tuck that tummy, always nice and tall, chin parallel to the floor. Coming back down. Come into a kneeling position. Take the right foot, reach out to the side, hands on your hips. Take your right hand and reach down your leg, lift up and over and stretch. Chest is open to the front, keeping that shoulder and arm up over the head. Now lift that arm, bringing it down to the floor, exactly across from your knee. Lifting your right arm or your left arm up into the air, turn and gaze at it. You can stay in this plank position, or for more challenge, you can drop or lift the knee and bring it out to meet the other foot. If this is hard on your wrist or your shoulder, you also have the option of coming down onto your elbow. The goal here is to keep the shoulders stacked. Suck that tummy. Hold that core nice and tight. Roll over into plank. Bring your knees back to the floor. Turn back to the front of the room. Left leg out to the side. Take the left hand, stretch it down the leg. Lift the right arm up, stretch it up and over, keeping the front of the room parallel to your body. Chest open. Keep breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Lift that arm. Bring it down to the floor. Left arm comes up. This is modified plank. You can stay here, or you can bring your leg out and hold. From fingertip to wrist, a straight line. Hold that tummy tight, hold that core tight. Use the side muscles along your waist to hold yourself in position. Inhaling and exhaling. Drop your knee and come back. Press your palms to the floor. Step out with the right, step out with the left. Bring your palms in between your feet. Rotate your tailbone up toward the sky and drop your head. And again, breathing, feeling the stretch in the back of your legs. Drop that head a little further and lift the tailbone a little higher. Bring your hands out to your ankles. Slowly walk up the body. Slowly so that you don't get dizzy. Then heel and toe a little bit closer in. Lift the arms up into the air. Scoop down to the right side and sweep your fingers across the front of you, lifting up and around. Continuing this circle, sunflower, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. One more time. Exhale and drop. Hold. Inhale and exhale. Walk your palms out so that they're directly below your shoulders. Take your right hand, lift it to the ceiling, stretch and twist at the waist. Use the waist muscles to make this movement. Inhaling and exhaling, getting a little deeper into the stretch. Release your hand and lift to the other side. Turn. Open that chest to the side of the room. Use your core to do that turning. And release your hand. And inhale all the way up. Let's do sunflower the other way. Come down by the toes, across, up and around. Use your core to lift you and lower you. And lift and lower. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale, exhale. Release the palms to the floor. Step in with both feet. Back to the front of the mat. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale. Come to heart center. You can remain on the front of your mat, or again, you can switch to the middle of the mat, whichever is more comfortable for you. We're going into tree pose. Keeping the hands at heart center. Feel the weight shift to the left foot. Spread your toes. Let your body feel comfortable with the weight in that left foot. Take your right foot, reach out to the side, touching your toe to the floor. You can stay right here if this is your comfort zone. There's many modifications for tree. For those of you who feel ready and balanced, bring your foot into your calf. Never press your foot into your knee. If you feel strong and want to go a little higher into tree pose, you can grab your foot and press it into your thigh. If you're in this position, press your foot firmly into your thigh and your thigh firmly into your foot, letting your gaze remain somewhere about 6 feet in front of you on the floor. By keeping yourself balanced, or you stay balanced by keeping your gaze in one place. Inhale, open the arms, lifting them up. And then let the branches of the tree open. And then release them. And step onto both feet, shaking out your left leg. Let's repeat this on the other side. The right foot is firmly planted into the floor. The toes are spread. The calf, the shin, the thigh are all strong. The muscles tight. Lift out to the side. Touch your toe to the floor and bring your hands to heart center. Again, it's important to have the core tight, the stomach pulled in tight, the muscles of the sides strong. Lift in and put your foot into your calf. Or if you'd like, bring it up into the center, pressing into your thigh. Open that leg out to the side so that the knee opens and you're completely in one plane with your body. Remembering the breath, always important to inhale and exhale. Open the branches of the tree. Depending on how you ate today or how well balanced your day was, what the amount of your stress was depends on how much you can balance. Sometimes you're very tippy, other times you're strong. Release back to heart center. Step out to the side and step back in. Shake out your leg. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, dropping the glutes. Exhale, step back to plank. In plank position, we're going to work on those the shoulder tightness, the rotator cuff, and the neck stress. Once again, holding yourself firmly into plank. First of all, draw those shoulder blades toward each other. Then release them and open the back so it's nice and wide. Inhaling and exhaling as you change from shoulder blades reaching each other to opening and broadening the back. Continuing to move back and forth. If you get tired doing this, rather than stopping, go to your knees. Inhale and exhale. Shoulder blades reaching towards each other, shoulder blades opening. And then press back to child's pose. Deep breath in and let it release. Come up to your hands and knees, cross your feet, push back, and slowly bring yourself down to the mat. Flat feet on the floor, knees up, feet are hip-width apart. Hands are resting alongside of the body. Slowly lift the hips. Bring yourself up into bridge. Lift those hips as though there's a band underneath you lifting you toward the ceiling. Use your glutes. Use your hamstrings and press and push the hips up toward the ceiling. Keep the neck open and keep the breath flowing. Now slowly release, letting the vertebrae come down one at a time until you've rested back into the floor. We're going to go up into bridge one more time, and then from bridge we're going to fall into fish. Press those feet firmly to the floor. Lift your hips. This time we're going to rotate our shoulders underneath our body, clasp our hands, and push the hips up. The neck again is open. Continuing to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Now unclasp your hands, but leave your shoulders slightly turned under. Bring your thumb and your pointer finger together. Then slowly release your legs and let your glutes fall to the tops of your hands, pressing your elbows out to the side at an angle. We're going to press the weight into our elbows, arch through the back, lift the head, and drop it back. Just let the hair rest against the floor. Don't put the crown of the head on the floor. Flex your feet and then point your toes, lifting your chest up toward the ceiling, elbows pressing into the mat. Then lift the head and slowly release. Bring the feet back up, bring the hands out, grab your knees, pull them in nice and tight, and bring your chin up into your knees. And release your head. Put your hands on top of your knees and rotate in a circle. And the other direction. Bring the knees nice and tight into the chest. Grab the bottoms of your feet, point them toward the ceiling. Open the legs to the side. Bring your knees down alongside of your rib cage. Pull as much as you can handle the stretch. Inhaling and exhaling. The more breath you take in, the more you can stretch. This is happy baby pose. Point your finger and your middle finger around your big toe. Cap it off with your thumb and push your legs out to the sides and pull down on your toes, opening into a deep stretch. The inner thighs, stretching and stretching. Pull your knees back into your chest. Lift your chin back into a small ball. And then open up and release all the way to the floor, stretching from fingers to toes. Stretch, stretch, and release. And again, stretch, stretch, and release. One more time, stretching and releasing. Bring your hands around. Let your hands rest either on your hip bones or alongside of your body, palms open to the ceiling. We're going into the relaxation, and you can either do this lying on your back or you can do it sitting in a seated position, whichever is more relaxing for you. Take a deep breath in and let that breath slowly release. Again, filling the chest and lungs with air. Inhale. Exhale, release it. As you let your breath return back to normal, slowly inhaling and exhaling, begin to relax the entire body. Lying there with your eyes closed, imagine yourself sitting at the edge of the sea. The water is sparkling in the sunshine. The waves are pulling in and out as the tide brings them up and the tide releases. Imagine as you take your next breath in that you're pulling that wave up into your body, pulling it up through your feet, through your knees, up through your chest, and all the way to the top of your head. As that wave releases, let it pull down through the body, taking any stress, any pain, anxiety, and let it wash out of the body, releasing it out to the sea. Take in that next wave, bring it into the body, pulling it in with your breath. Pull it to the top of your head, and then let it release. Again, taking with it any stress, any negative feelings, any sadness, pain, and wash it out of your body, washing it out to sea. Letting your body feel calm and relaxed. One more time, bringing in that wave, pulling it up into the body, and slowly, slowly let it release. Leaving your body calm and relaxed. Continue to breathe, only concentrating on your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Reach your palms out to the side. If you're lying on your back, turn into a fetal position. And slowly bring yourself up to a seated position. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Turn your palms up. Inhale. Reach all the way up. Stretch and pull. Let your gaze look up over your fingers and then release it, dropping your fingers to the floor. Turn your palms up once again. Lift all the way. Stretch. Palms firmly pressed together. Then pull them down across your forehead, your eyes, across your nose, your lips, and your chin. And let your chin follow your fingertips down as you let your hands come to rest at your heart center. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed beginning yoga. See you next time. I can move now. This thing was hurting my ears so bad. Huh. I'm still on live. Oh. Check the schedule for the next yoga.